If you've been putting in a lot of time and effort into Amazon KDP, but your book still isn't really selling well, it's not because you're unlucky, it's because no one ever really showed you how Amazon KDP really works. In this video, I'm going to show you the real reason your KDP book doesn't rank on Amazon and the hidden mistakes that quietly kill your visibility before you even had a chance to get sales on Amazon. So to do this, I'm going to look at real listings from our community and break it down step by step so you can see exactly what to change to finally start getting consistent sales. All right, so let's get right into this video. And in case you're new to the channel, Cleo and I have sold over 240,000 books between our different KDP accounts. We also have a free authors Facebook group with 230,000 members in it. And we have helped over 300,000 authors with our tools on self-publishing titans. So that's just a quick thing about us. And let's go right into the first listing. So here with this Chrome extension, we can see that this book has gotten some sales because it has a bestseller rank, but currently not really doing too well. So let's see what all the missed opportunities and mistakes are that can be fixed to help this book get better rankings and better sales. So the title here says The Adventures of Bentley Hippo, inspiring children to be patient, promotes patience, teamwork, and friendship. So the title sounds fine. The subtitle is fine, but not the absolute best that it could be. One, because we don't have any long tail keywords that people are actually searching for, which is really, really important for these kinds of books. And then also personally, I was not the biggest fan of inspiring children to be patient. Like that, I feel like it's not the best keyword or the best phrase to have right as in the beginning of your subtitle. I feel like teamwork and friendship would have been a little bit nicer early on, and then patience, if needed, more towards the end. And then also here we have patient and patience. So kind of like double promoting that. So that was one word I was not the biggest fan of personally. Obviously, this is a great trait to have as a child, but I'm just talking about the subtitle itself. I'm just going to quickly open our Self-Publishing Titans AI tool just to see what it says on the title. So here under opportunity, it says the title and subtitle are quite long and somewhat cluttered, which may reduce readability and impact. Simplifying the subtitle to focus on the core message and incorporating the benefits more naturally can improve clarity and search optimization. And one example title our Titans AI gave is The Adventures of Bentley Hippo, teaching patience, teamwork, and friendship to children. So not a huge change, slightly cleaner, but I'm still not the biggest fan of the patience right at the beginning, but that's just my own preference. But the most important thing here is just the main keyword. That's the main thing that's missing in the title. So what does Amazon rank your book for? So obviously we can do that in the 7 backend keywords, but when we do have a chance to have it in the subtitle, it's not only good for the click-through rates, but also for rankings on Amazon. So just one tip there. Let's look at the cover. So The Adventures of Bentley and then Hippo. So the one thing that I noticed here is that here we have black text, here we have green text, and here we have kind of brown, but then the P's and the O's have white background in it, which kind of looks slightly odd to me. This is a very minor point, more of just a tiny critique, but obviously looking for all the things that could potentially improve a book. So I would try to see if we can improve that, just make it look slightly better. What I do like about this cover is the colors. I think it's very playful. I like the sky, I like the moon, I like the rockets. I like the shoes and the animals and the flowers and the ground. So that's all really popping, really nice colors. It looks like the illustrations are really high quality. So overall, I think this cover is beautiful. My only question here on this hippo is why does he look worried? So we have a happy monkey, and I feel like maybe having a happy hippo could be a slightly nicer emotion on the cover. But that would be my personal preference. This is something you could try out, making a smiling hippo to see if it looks nicer or not. And then here it says inspiring children to be patient. So once again, not the biggest fan of the patient here. I think there was teamwork and friendship. I think those are friendlier and nicer, kind of a little bit more uplifting. But the other thing here is that we have this title and it's off center. So we can see that here we're almost touching the leaf, but then here's a really wide gap. So that just is something that should be fixed. Even if this was technically centered, it just feels like it's off center and not really correctly placed. So this makes it slightly less professional. And then here we have black text with a white outline, and here down below we have just white text. And I would almost say that the white text by itself looks a bit nicer than this one. So I would try changing that into just white to see if that also looks good. And then I would also try a few different variations. So here, this exact text, you can also just have that on the spine and have different text on the cover. So maybe here you can say promotes friendship, teamwork, and patience. Maybe in that sequence sounds slightly nicer, or just promotes teamwork and friendship, or friendship and teamwork, and see how that looks and sounds. So that's what I would do with the cover, just as improvements. So let's look at the description. So I like that we have a nice long description, and here we have 4 bullet points. These bullet points look a little bit long, so this one is 2 lines, this one is also 2 lines, and we only have 4, not 5. 5 is kind of the sweet spot, so what I would do is figure out a way to shorten these bullet points, so they're only 1 line maximum, or even slightly shorter. The shorter the better. If you can convey your whole concept for that bullet point, that would be good, but definitely no longer than 1 line. And we want to have these bullet points at the top, because right now we can only see this part right here. We can't see these bullet points, and the bullet points are really the most important part of your description. So what we want is to have them right below this line so a potential buyer can see them right away. But otherwise, I like how long it is, which is really good. And I can see here you have a call to action, so that's really well done. So overall, we're on the right track. And the other thing I just want to acknowledge you for is having a lot of reviews and having nice ratings. So you definitely have a good book, which is excellent. So having a good book is obviously the most important part, especially for longevity. The other thing I can just point out here is that you have a Kindle book with Kindle Unlimited, which is great. I always encourage people to have Kindle Unlimited selected. We also have paperback, but the one thing we have missing here is a hardcover version. So some people might prefer that. And then we also don't have an audiobook. I know this is a short book, but maybe you can have an audiobook with your different books combined as one or something like that. No idea how this would work, but just a thought. But the reason I'm saying that is because each of these book formats can rank individually on Amazon for the same keywords or different keywords. And obviously this helps you get more sales and more reviews and just do better overall. So the more book formats you can have, the better. Let's look at your A+ content. So I love these images. They're once again really playful, really fun. I like the colors too, makes it look really engaging. I like that you have some text here. That's also nice. And this looks also really clean. And then here, so here we have a smiling hippo. So I feel like that image would be really, really nice on the front cover. It just looks like happier emotions. So I would definitely have something like that. But I love these images. I love the giraffe, really playful. I also like that you show the characters' names. That's a really cool idea, really creative thought. And then here, I like this part as well. And you're showing your other books. So overall, definitely impressed. My critiques are the smaller points to just really polish your listing and just further help you improve. You also have a nice profile picture, which is awesome. And you also have a nice long description. So that is also really good. So these are the changes that I would make for your listing. And since we don't have the main keyword here, we also want to make sure that your 7 backend keywords are fully optimized. So what I mean by that is using the Chrome extension from Self-Publishing Titans. In case you're not familiar with that, you can go to the Google Chrome store and type in Self-Publishing Titans. And you'll see this one right here on the bottom. This is the brand new one, which replaces the 2 previous ones. And it's basically all in one Chrome extension now. So that's what we're using here. And for your 7 backend keywords, we want to find ones that have an opportunity 5 or higher. Ideally, we have like something like a 7, 8, or 9. And then also a really good domain score. So we want to try and find ones that have both green ones, like 5 and 6. Obviously, this is not for 4 to 8 years, but you can just kind of scroll down and type in different keywords, children's books, kids' books, and just whatever else you can think of, and look at all the search suggestions, and then take all of the best ones and put those in your 7 backend keywords. I think that will also really, really help you. But overall, I think you have a beautiful listing, beautiful cover. So you're definitely on the right track. I think if you keep going, you can definitely have success on Amazon. It really looks like you have high quality work and you really put in the time and effort for it. So these changes, I think, will just really help you. And I think the biggest thing for sure is your 7 backend keywords. And then you also definitely want to have Amazon ads running. And if you don't have a budget for that, at least try to do some short term. And then definitely you need to do some social media marketing, like videos on TikTok. They could even be faceless. You can do posts on Pinterest. You can do posts on Instagram and just all the other platforms, and that will definitely help you get more sales. So really like your book. I would love to check your book in the future, see how you're doing, and I wish you best of luck. And let's go on to the next one. So here we have currently not really getting any sales, as we can see here. So let's see what I can do to help this person out. So the title is Man Up. So really, really short, but that's fine. And then 250 ways to do it wrong with confidence. A funny gift for dad's boyfriends or any man who wants to be a legend. So obviously this is a fun kind of book. I like that. So the main keyword here is funny gift, but obviously you don't have any other keywords in here really. So for this book, we would definitely want to make sure that we really have strong 7 backend keywords as well. That will be really, really really important. So maybe like funny book or things like that. Once again, just put that into the search bar to see what the suggestions are from our Titans Chrome extension. But let's look at the rest here. So when I see this cover, I like it. But for some reason, when I see this man, I almost feel like I've seen this man on a different cover. I don't know if it was a joke book or something else. So I don't know if this guy was repurposed or what happened. But if this was created by somebody on Fiverr or Upwork, I would just ask them where they got this image from. And I could swear I've seen this before, which would not be the nicest thing. Maybe I'm wrong and it's something similar, but I would just ask them where they got this image from, just so you can be sure you have an original image, just in case it was taken from some other brand or something like that, so there's no issues for you in the long term. But hopefully I'm wrong. I do like the cover, I like the colors, I like the font choices, I like the animals, I like the grilling, the truck, all of that looks really, really cool. Just when I saw this man, I just had my attention on it, so I'm just letting you know. Hopefully I am wrong, but overall, really nice cover. So that is definitely not the reason we're not getting sales. So far, I definitely feel like the main reason is just having not the right keywords or missing keywords. So you definitely have a missed opportunity in your subtitle, but it looks like we have really good reviews and we have 10, which is plenty. So great job on that. Let's look at your description. So we have bullet points and perfect for. So usually I'm not the biggest fan of having all these icons, but I feel like for a funny kind of book that this could work. And I do like that these bullet points are short and sweet, so it doesn't make me feel like it's AI, even though it might have been written by AI. So I think that's fine. The only thing I see missing here is a direct call to action for someone to buy the book. That's something simple you can add there. So let's look at your A+ content. I like that you have A+ content, so good job on that. And here we can see you also showed the book dimensions, which is really cool. That's a nice idea. I also like that you say here it's a paperback. So this is really clever thinking. I really like that. On the right side, however, I feel like it's way too much text. And I feel like the 3D font here is almost hard to read. Probably just make it this kind of color and not 3D. I think that'll look slightly better. You can also try some other color, maybe red. I don't know how that looks. Just play around with it, try different colors, and I think that would be an improvement here. The main thing I would have liked to see in the first image is already some facts. So we have unverified facts or just funny facts. So I would have, instead of all of this text, maybe shared 3 of the facts that are funny, maybe your favorite ones. I think that would have been an improvement. Here we also have too much text going on. I feel like it's slightly overwhelming, almost confusing and cluttered looking. So I would also clean it up. Maybe just continue with the theme of showing some facts. So maybe up here you can have 3 facts, and then down here you can have 3 more. And I would probably just continue with that here. Okay, so here it looks like you're showing some facts. So this is what I would have for these other 2, just because that's the main content and just make them want to buy it. So let's look at your categories. So parody, humorous, fiction. So parody sounds fine, but since this is like a funny fact book, I would almost consider having that in a joke kind of book category. So I feel like these categories could be improved upon. Let's look at so you have a branded image, which is good, and then a short description. So good job for having that, but this is slightly short. Maybe try and figure out a couple more sentences just to make that a bit more meaningful. We do have reviews. So that's it for my review here. So once again, I think the main problem is just your keywords. I would highly suggest looking at your backend keywords to optimize those. And yeah, so I hope that helps. And let's look at the next one. So here we have a book that has never gotten a single sale, unfortunately, because we don't have any bestseller rank. So let's see why that could be. So the title says 7 Continents Animal Word Search Challenge for Kids ages 6 to 12. So that title is really long already, and then the subtitle is even longer. Word searches with large print about animals, continents, mazes, and more. 8.5 by 11 gift for vacations, holidays, and free times. So this was honestly way too long. I don't think it should ever go beyond 2 lines. So it's just way too many keywords, way too much data almost, and this makes it feel kind of spammy and cluttered. Not really the best. So that's definitely part of the problem already, probably a huge part. So we have a word search book, but we don't have word search book as a keyword. It says word search challenge. So also a missed opportunity. I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. So when using the Titans Chrome extension here, so word search for kids. So here we have 8 to 10, opportunity of 9, 6 to 8, not as good, 8 to 12. That's what I was looking for. So opportunity of 9, demand of 6. That's a keyword. If you look at word search book for kids, also decent. 5. So the main thing I want to show you is that 6 to 12 is not the right age group. It's also not a common keyword. The most common keyword with the number 12 in it is 8 to 12. So that's something I would have done differently. Probably another main reason you're not getting sales. And the other thing besides just being a good keyword is if you look at it, someone who's 6 years old has a completely different vocabulary compared to a 12-year-old. It's just double the age and just too wide of an age gap. So this by itself is probably the reason you're also not getting sales. Just doesn't sound realistic, especially for parents who are going to be buying this book. So the other thing here is we have word search and word searches. So that's also just not really needed. Let's just look at our Titan's title analyzer just to see what it says here. So we can also see that your overall listing only has a score of 45 out of 100, which is quite low. And then here it says the title is excessively long and cluttered, which may reduce readability and impact. It could benefit from being more concise with a cleaner hook that emphasizes a unique benefit or theme without overloading keywords. Reducing redundancy and focusing on primary keywords would improve memorability and attractiveness. So just exactly what I said. So obviously you have a good AI tool here. And then the example it gives for a better title is 7 Continents Animal Word Search for Kids ages 6 to 12. Large print puzzles featuring animals, mazes, and more. Fun educational activity book for vacations and holidays. So that's better, still really long. Obviously, our AI tool only uses your kind of words. It doesn't do a whole lot of research. It's more of just an example. So let's look at the rest. So you cover, I think the intention is really nice and it's supposed to look playful, but I think this is also unfortunately not the best cover. And why I say that is here we have colorful text with white outline, then we have white text with black outline, different font, once again a different font. And then here we have a different font. We don't also capitalize the ages. And then here we have in all caps. So here lowercase letters, all caps, capitalized, all lowercase, all caps. There's just no theme, no consistency. And then moving along here, we can see that there was a flat cover background image with the trees, the sky in the background, and the birds. But then we took a 3D globe image and stuck that above it, and then added a magnifying glass in front of that, which is also 3D. So we have a flat image in the background, a 3D image in the foreground, and another 3D image before that. So it just kind of also feels inconsistent. We have this random blue line here, which is not necessary. And then we also have uncentered text. So here we can see that the 7 is almost touching, but then the S here on the right side has a lot more space. We can also see that the red circle here is cut off on the right side. So it is overall not really consistent, not really professional. And so the main reasons here for you not getting sales is guaranteed your cover, guaranteed your title, the length of the title, and your keywords, and most importantly, the age group. The age gap is just too big. I'm just going to continue checking it. So this looks like it's written by AI. All these icons and the way AI likes to do these bullet points. So there's no need to have 20 bullet points. We want to have 5. So I would just rewrite that yourself and put the bullet points just below there. That would also help you. Let's look at your A+ content. So this looks okay, but way too much text. So here, rather show the word search designs that are in your book so a potential buyer can see what it's all about. Same thing here, this gives no value. We show a potential hat, which is blurry. We show a car, a magnifying glass, and a closed book. So a missed opportunity here is having an open book, showing examples of what you have in the book. So like this, you want to show more of that for sure. This is okay, but looks slightly random. That can also be improved. And then what certificate? They're not graduating anything, so this doesn't make any sense for me. Definitely missed opportunity. If I had to be honest, I would probably say this is one of the top 3 worst listings I've ever seen. The good news is that once we reach rock bottom, we can't get any worse. We can only get better. And I hope that this will really help you. I'd be willing to help you with your future books. So if you make another book with really a lot of effort into it and applying these changes that I told you, feel free to submit your next book and I would love to continue helping you. Obviously, I do these reviews to help people, not to make them wrong. So I hope that this is a good learning lesson for you. I hope you get inspired by this to continue and to do even better with every single book you make. And yeah, so that's the end of this video. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like. And if you want to also just quickly submit your book, you can go to selfpublishingtitans.com/review, and then I would love to help you as well. All right, so see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.